And welcome back to the Daily Report here on WEIC.US Internet Radio. This is a special edition of the Daily Report. We're discussing the killing of Osama Bin Laden in Pakistan on Sunday night by U.S. Navy SEALs. Hillary Clinton came out yesterday and obviously gave a speech speaking for the State Department since she is Secretary of State. She basically, her message was that the death of Osama bin Laden does not automatically end the war on terror. She said that even as we work toward this milestone, we should not forget that the battle to stop Al-Qaeda and its syndicate of terror will not end with the death of bin Laden. She then turned to kind of delivered a direct message to bin Laden's followers and said, "You cannot wait us out, you cannot defeat us, but you can make the choice to abandon Al-Qaeda and participate in a peaceful political process." So basically she's telling the people that could still be terrorists, we're going to win. No matter what, we're going to get you. We're going to come find you. You can't win this war.
That's really the problem when you're fighting a phantom war is, you can, as I said earlier, cut off the head of the serpent. But because it's an organization, it's not a
military,
country.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a military. There really isn't. It's not like they're going to surrender now.
It's not even it is an organization, but terrorism is larger than just Al Qaeda.
Right.
Yes.
There's
so even if
so
they
many
were defeated,
factors that one person, says, well, they killed Osama bin Laden. He may have no connection to Al Qaeda whatsoever. They can act out just as well as anyone else.
Get people from Hamas. Then last night, shortly after President Barack Obama's speech, the State Department issued a worldwide travel alert for U.S. citizens, just to kind of be on the lookout and be aware that there is obviously a heightened risk of anti-American violence after, in the wake of Bin Laden being killed.
I think the idea is they're just worried that someone might seek retaliation.
Right. And then to be super double extra safe, the U.S. embassies in Islamabad, as well as the consulates in Karachi, Lahore, and Peshawar, all of there in Afghanistan, Pakistan, those areas, were closed for everything but emergency services. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're obviously kind of hunkering down for not really a war, but, everybody's kind of being prepared for someone to strike back against us. Guys, do you think the odds of that are high? Well, what do you think the odds of?
Personally, anything could happen. I'm not afraid. I decided on September 11th that I was never going to be afraid of terrorists because, in my opinion, they're nothing more than cowards that just try to use publicity through violence. And I don't know. If we live our lives in fear, then we'll never get anything done. But at the same time, I do see a point in the government putting out such a warning because people do need to remember that there are still people out there who don't have our best interest in mind.
I think the word you're looking for there is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that crazy is the right word. These people actually think that they're on some sort of mission. They actually think they have something. They just don't understand that there's legitimate ways of doing things, and I'm sure they hopefully have some sort of understanding that what they're doing is wrong. What they're doing goes against their religion. It goes against everything that's moral and upstanding, upright. It's just wrong. You don't kill innocents to win any battle. It just makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd have to agree with Dave. I'm not personally afraid of terrorism here in the U.S., and I think most places in the U.S., especially right now, when it's something that happens really quickly like this that there's going to be a reaction to, if I were in, say, a third world country right now as an American citizen, I would be much more...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I would think that is probably where this is going, these kind of, improvised explosive devices, that sort of...
Yes, all of that is true, and I completely agree with you guys. I'm personally not shaking in my boots over here. But at the same time, the BBC, I believe, is reporting that the whole of the entirety of Al-Qaeda has orders to, I'm pretty sure the words that the BBC used were unleash a nuclear hell on the U.S. in case of bin Laden being killed, which he was. We are in the U.S. Therefore, I'm not nervous. I'm obviously not going to, disrupt my daily life, but And I also don't have a whole lot of faith in the fact that Al Qaeda will follow through with that.
Well, I
Right.
just think they're not organized enough in the U.S.
Exactly.
to instantaneously respond with
Yeah.
some sort of.
But all of that being said, by the same token, and this may be horrible of me, you can look down on me, whatever, I would not be surprised in the least if there was some sort of terrorist attack on a U.S. presence somewhere in the world this week.
I
Or at
would
least an attempt.
be surprised if there wasn't. At least an
Yes,
attempt. Yeah.
at least an attempt, right. So, yeah, I guess that kind of brings us to where do we think the world is going to go as an Osama Bin Laden-less world. Obviously, this guy, he declared war on the U.S. way back in 1996. The guy has been around for a bit. He's been waging this war for a long time. Dave, how do you think
Well, it's like I've said before early in the show, and I've been saying it all day. We have been kind of on a downward spiral here in the United States. Our economy's going south. Everything's going badly, and really, we just had this really negative outlook on life, I think, as a country since September 11th. I really think that this is going to open a new chapter in American history. I think that this is a historical event. I think that going forward, we're going to be able to pick up the pieces. We're going to realize that, yes, we can, and I think we'll be able to go forward in a very positive direction. I think a lot of Americans are going to start feeling hopeful again.
Yeah, I think that's true. This is a source of hope. Carl, what are your thoughts on the wars on terror that we're fighting, the actual militarized wars? Both, I know the Iraqi thing isn't really a war anymore, but obviously Afghanistan is, and at least as far as I can remember, I don't really follow the Afghanistan war very well. But wasn't the whole point of going to war in Afghanistan to fight Al Qaeda, and then it kind of transferred
Yeah,
into
it was partially to fight Al Qaeda and to fight the Taliban, which was giving safe harbor to terrorists.
And we thought Osama bin Laden was in Afghanistan,
And he was at the time.
Right, so
Everything
I
points
guess-
to the fact that he was.
I guess my question is, what's the point of the Afghanistan war now? Well, I guess that's the wrong way to put it, because there's the Taliban, and we're fighting a good fight there, and we're doing a good thing, but haven't we accomplished a mission?
That we originally were sent in to do? Yes.
Are we
That's
going to
correct.
accomplish anything more there? It's hard to say. It doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like
I
it
mean,
at this point.
that those people have been fighting for centuries,
Right.
and now that we've gotten what we went there to do, I really don't see a point in staying.
Yeah, Afghanistan's been in perpetual war since 1970.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when we pull out, it's not like they're magically going to have golden roads and
Right.
life is going to be wonderful for everybody with the McDonald's and the CVS in every corner.
And a Starbucks.
Yeah, and Starbucks, absolutely. It's just, there'll just be another civil war
Right,
when we
and
pull
the
out.
thing is, the longer we stay in these places, the more likely we are to create a new Osama bin Laden.
Exactly.
It's that
Exactly.
presence of U.S. military in places like Iraq,
Yep.
where, especially in Iraq in some ways,
Yeah.
where we're there even though the country has somewhat stabilized, and we're spending all this money and probably just hurting ourselves in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, the former South Carolina, both governor and Senator Fritz Hollings has written several really good articles about the fact that us being in these Middle Eastern countries, especially if we don't have a reason to be there, or the citizens there don't see us as having a reason to be there, does a lot to strengthen Al Qaeda. It creates members, and that's on the Democratic side. And the Republican side, I know that Paul Craig Roberts has written articles saying the exact same thing. So, I mean, these are people who have been in the world of politics for decades, have actually, been to Vietnam, been to the Middle East, seen these things happening, and understand politics in a way because of actual political involvement that those of us here in the room just don't have. And they say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So.
We are going to take a break. We'll be right back with a little bit more right here on the Daily Report.